I have not made it very far in life. I was born and raised in Mesa, Arizona, and I'm proud to have lived most of my life here. I took a few short detours to serve as a missionary in Korea for a couple of years for my church, and to go out of state for my undergrad education, but came back to ASU for law school, and have practiced law here for 25 years before running for mayor about 7 years ago. We've raised our 5 kids here, and it's really been a great place for the Giles family for forever.
My daughters are the #1 fan support, and we all talk each other down off the ledge if someone is mean to him on social media. You know, I don't think there's anyone more proud of their dad than our kids. We've raised some good people that will do anything to support him.
My family is really a big motivating factor for me choosing to become the mayor in the first place. I'm anxious to show them that there are some things that are more important than money. Some things, having the opportunity to be impactful in the community is every bit as rewarding, maybe not in a financial sense, but in a sense that is more important than financial.
I believe that Mayor Giles' support of this ordinance is a reflection of his deep faith, because as a member of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, he wants to do what Jesus would have us do. He wants to do the right thing, to be moral, to be ethical, and particularly to be loving and kind. And I believe that directly had an effect on the position that he took on passing this ordinance.
Sometimes people will act confused. We know you're a religious person, why are you doing this? And what I just want to scream from the rooftop is, the reason I'm doing this is because I'm a religious person. I'm not doing it in spite of my religious belief. I'm doing it because of what I've learned at church and in my family, that is very faith-based. That is what compels me to want to put that, the stuff that I'm learning on Sunday into the way I'm involved in the community, Monday through Saturday. My personal journey to becoming an ally, like I say, I think probably started in my after high school, when one of my best friends came out a year after college. I went off to be a Mormon missionary, and he went off to move to Los Angeles because he didn't have a home in Arizona anymore because his family had asked him to leave. Just the heartbreak that I saw associated with that, that'll always stay with me. A lot of folks in Mesa have really dedicated their careers to this. I think of Dennis Kavanaugh. Dennis and I have served on the city council together going back to 1996, and he's been a great example to me of community service. This was an issue that was very important to him as we've served together. I'm glad that we were able to accomplish this, and he was able to be a part of it and to help take credit for it. The message that we send of acceptance, of love, of you're not them, you're us, that alone is worth pursuing non-discrimination ordinances. I worry so much about teenagers, particularly teenagers in conservative faith communities, that oftentimes either are contemplating or taking their own lives. These are horribly challenging experiences. And so for those in our community that say, hey, really, is this a problem? Is this something that we need to be vigorous about? The answer is yes. My relationship with One Community and with Angela really started back in 2014, 2015. Shortly after I was elected mayor, this issue was front and center. And so our Human Relations Advisory Board and others, some of our major employers, they were pointing out that this is not an issue that MESA can be oblivious to. Early on, back in 2015, we began the process of talking to all the stakeholders in our community. Very quickly, Angela and one community it became apparent to me that this was the group that had the most credibility, that was integrated into the community, that had the resources and the connections at a local level to help us make a good decision. We worked really hard on this back in 2015 and ultimately came to the decision that we needed to stand down for a period of time because it was extremely volatile at the time, and we probably could have pushed it through, but there would have been a lot of damage done in the community if we crammed it through. When we decided to hit the pause button in 2015, it was not, that didn't mean that we were hit pause on everything. So I continued to be an advocate at the legislature and at the Arizona League of Cities and Towns, trying to raise awareness that this was an issue that all of us needed to make some progress on at a state level and at city levels as well. So we didn't sit idle, from 2015 to 2021. Things continued to progress. The Unity Pledge in 2017 was an important step down that path of ultimately getting to an ordinance. It was a great way to get some consensus going. And then once they kind of got there intellectually, their hearts would eventually follow. And so I think the Unity Pledge was a great, important middle ground that helped us ultimately get to the ordinance. You know, 2021 is a year that will go down in infamy, won't it? For a variety of reasons. I mean, politically, it's been the most contentious year we've seen in a generation. You've got the pandemic. You've got all of these external sources of pressure, right? When we came forward with this ordinance, some people said, "Are you crazy now? In the middle of all of this contention and pressure?" I think people were yearning for something that they could come together on. And so in some ways, the context of being in this very turbulent time, I think helped us with getting this ordinance through. Because, I mean, if we can do it now, we can do it anytime. I am very proud of the MESA ordinance. It really is groundbreaking in a lot of ways. There's progress in there. Concessions that were made by all parties that allowed us to get to a place that would not have been possible even a few years ago. So allowing time for the community to evolve, trusting the LGBTQ community to wanting the same thing that the faith community and the political community and the business community wanted, that allowed us to do something that we can all be very proud of.
I think Mayor Giles was critical to the passage of this ordinance. He's been involved for 7 years behind the scenes in things that people aren't even aware of. And I just think his tenacity and his ability to connect and listen and hear people was absolutely crucial to the passing of it.
He has the ability to work with very conservative people. He has the ability to work with very liberal people. And I believe he understands how to be a pragmatist to get certain measures done.
I really appreciated that whenever community members had questions, he met with them, he listened to them, he read their emails, and he really wanted to make sure we were covering every single aspect of the ordinance. And so when there were some changes made because community members came forward.
He's a great mediator and bridge. He'll listen to two sides and he'll bring them two together, and then before you know it, we're coming to some consensus on whatever it is. Without that, I think we would have had too much division in our community, which would have driven us away from the ordinance.
I can't tell you how proud I am of our community and our city council for making this happen. Being a little bit patient, continuing to work with people, letting them evolve on their own timeline, ultimately getting to a place where we could have broad-based support from the business community, from the faith community, from the elected officials. It allowed us to have a coalition at the end that could weather the opposition that was going to happen. Back in 2015, we were told in no uncertain terms that if you do this, here's our polling numbers, we're going to do a referendum, and look, we're going to win. And I think they were right. And so we knew going into this ordinance that was a very real possibility that we would see threats of a referendum. And sure enough, we did. There is organized political opposition, that earns their living fighting LGBTQ rights. They moved very quickly, and so did we. And as a result of that, we were able to get the political support, the financial support, the manpower, the volunteers that we needed to adequately respond to the challenges that we had. With the help of one community and other organizations, we were able to have a very polished, intelligent communication strategy. Once we were able to get the facts out, I think we could throw a wet blanket on a lot of those crazy arguments, and ultimately we were successful.
This has been an amazing experience. Like, really, as absolutely hard and difficult as it was, I've learned so much, and I'm now a huge LGBTQ ally. I think I always was, but I'm more open about it, right? I've come out as an LGBTQ ally.
Yeah, I think we're a stronger and bigger community, even from where I stand, which was an advocate previously, but it was a blending of different worlds. Like, this is my world and this is what we believe, and there's these other worlds and they believe differently. But I saw a lot of people coming together, and we celebrated together from all ages and walks of life and religious beliefs and
political
and everything you could define as differing among people. We came together around this, and I think our community is larger and we're stronger now.
Absolutely.
It's hard to overstate the significance of what happened in Mesa, because when people see what happened in Mesa, they say, my gosh, if it happened there, it could happen anywhere in the state of Arizona. It not only can, it should happen anywhere and everywhere in the state of Arizona. I think it's very much the same case when ultimately we get a statewide protection. The nation is going to say, oh my gosh, we got to pay attention to this. If it happens in Arizona, it can and should happen everywhere. And so we've got, with one community, Equality Arizona, again, I have no doubt that momentum is going to continue, not just statewide, but ultimately that Arizona is going to be held up as a leader in adopting a national LGBTQ protection law.